All right, welcome back to another episode of Comedians in Bed. I have another good one with me today. This brother is funny, beyond funny. Not just me, the whole world would agree if you look at those stream numbers. He got a comedy album out right now on Amazon Music, Spotify, and iTunes called Wow, This Tea is Sweet. He's also the creator of Cultural Connections, man. And not only that, you can find him headlining wherever your comedy club is near you. Everybody, please let's give a round of applause for the one and the only Chris Monds. Everybody, Chris Monds. My guy, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you for having me, brother, man. I appreciate it, man. I know it's comedians in bed, but I got a bunch of kids, so I'm running errands, so it's like the comedians just running around doing shit, multitasking. So that's pretty much me, man. But thank you for having me, man. I definitely appreciate the platform for sure.
That's the life of a dad, right?
Man, they got me working like a Mexican. Like, every time you turn around, I got a job I'm doing, man. It's crazy, man. But I wouldn't have another way.
How in the world do you still pursue and do the things that you love, such as comedy, and still be a father? Like that that's a hard job right there.
I lose a lot of sleep, man. I usually get about 3 hours of sleep a night. So that's kind of how I keep it and keep everything going. But yeah, working like a dog, man. But it's part of the game, so I definitely appreciate it. So it is what
Yeah,
it is.
yeah. How many kids do you got?
Three. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, I
That's
got a
what's up, man.
9-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a newborn. So everything
Oh
I
wow.
yeah. The worst thing that happened during the pandemic is not even catching COVID, is having a fucking baby. But what can you do? I should have went to bed. That's what I should have did. I kept pushing the issue.
No, I understand, man. How long have you been doing comedy, man?
For about 6 years, I've been doing it for Well, I take that back. Consistently 6 years. You know how you'll start and then you have a bad show and you quit.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, I was young. I didn't know the difference. So I started in 2011, and I
Yeah.
had like three shows, and I had a real bad show, and I quit, and then I didn't pick it up again until 2016. So consistently for about 6 years now.
Now I gotta say this before I forget because my nephew is down there right now with his brother, and
Yeah.
I saw that you went to North Carolina A&T.
Yes, sir. And graduated. A lot of people can't say that. A lot of people say I went, but I graduated. That's the hard part, especially being a party school. So yeah, that's
Right, man. You guys are down there having a ball, man. Describe to me the greatest homecoming on earth. How is that experience? I've never been.
so it's more so. It's just think about uh, thousands of black people getting together and no violence. Like everybody's on the same wave. Everybody's having a good time. And it's just real cool, man. As far as just the camaraderie. Everybody just out eating fish, drinking, chilling, and just enjoying each other. So it's really black excellence. And now that a lot of celebrities are starting to tag along to A&T, you'll it's nothing to see a celebrity out there, or you'll see a Lamborghini on campus. Like, oh, that's such and such. They just want to be out there and be seen. So just think about it, just a parade of black people
Yeah.
from Thursday to Sunday morning, and everybody's just chilling.
Yeah. What years did you go?
So I went from '06 to 2010. So I graduated December of 2010.
Dang, that was them franchise boys golden years.
Right, right. Jeezy, big white t-shirts, like everybody trap music when Lil Wayne had no ceilings and all that. So
Did any of
that
them
was
like come up to perform? Like who did you get to perform when you was up there?
man, like it was Gucci Mane came one year, Jeezy, Yo Gotti came, Lil Wayne came twice.
Okay.
I seen Cat Williams, he came to the comedy show. Remember he had the bit like hustling when he was pulling shit
Yeah.
off the set. That's when he first did that joke there. So he came. Who else had like um, basically anybody from that era would show up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's dope, man. Especially
yeah,
going
it,
to
it was cool.
HBCU with those, man. That's dope, man. That's real dope, man. I would love to do like a HBCU like only comedy tour, like for sure. Like so see that Cat Williams thing
Man,
there, that's dope.
yeah, that'll be. Oh yeah, Mike Epps came one year. Kevin Hart came like when Kev
Okay.
was like really starting to get big. He
Yeah.
came there one year. So yeah, I got to see all them cats, man, before they like took off.
Yeah, man, that's what's up. And I see that you also pledged Q Dog too down there.
No, no, no,
No,
no.
no
So
Q?
No, no, not Q. I got a lot of friends that are Qs, and so by me
Oh, okay.
being in comedy, it's like they always calling me, "Hey, Chris, can you come do a show?" And I got a lot of connection with, but no, I didn't pledge.
So
I didn't pledge.
that's why you're doing the show. Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
All right, my I misspoke. His face turned quick.
yeah. Like no, 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 no. They don't like
No,
that. If you ain't from, they don't
right.
want that out there. Yeah.
Right. No, I understand. My bad. My bad. All right. So, so what was that first moment that made you was like, man, this is what I want to do for a living. I want to get on stage and I want to do comedy.
You know what's crazy, man? So like my wife, she was my girlfriend at the time. She told me to do comedy, right? I was funny at work, hanging out with people. And then the first time I got paid from it, I was like, oh shit, I can do this. And like that was like year two, like 2018, and I won a few competitions, and a lot of celebrities started reaching out saying, hey, can you open, can you feature for me? And I was like, bet, and been rolling ever since then. So I didn't really have an aha moment where I can do comedy. Just over the years as you get better and better. And then it's like, all right, well, hell, I pay the bill with this comedy money. I can pay my mortgage with this show. So it's like, after a while, it just start to pile up on you.
Yeah. So, at what point did you was like, this is something that I want to do like full time? And I'm gonna touch back on your wife too, because that was a
Yeah.
good point that she brought it to you. But at what point did you say like this is something that I want to pursue like full time?
Uh, I don't know. Like because I'm still working my 9 to 5 because I do IT. So I'm still working my 9 to 5 for insurance. 'Cause, the kids gotta have insurance.
Yeah.
That marketplace is a bitch trying to damn Obamacare. Yeah, nah, I need to get somebody employed. But now I'm dedicating more time to comedy now. But it's just more so when I found some success and people like, hey, you need to do this full time, and then the shows start piling up. Like I look every weekend I'm working, whether it's doing a show or I'm writing for comics. 'Cause I write for other comics too. Um, so it just depends. And my weekends and my days just started to get consumed with comedy, and just it kind of took a hold from there.
Yeah, man, that's dope. So, at what point? So you say you still do IT, and I know we
Yeah,
did touch about this a little bit. So, what is like that grind like of like being a father, working a 9 to 5, and going for your dreams at the same time? Because you got 3 kids.
yeah. So between me and you and the listeners, I don't do shit at my day job. Like all my time goes to comedy and these kids. Like I'm just literally the bare minimum employee. Like I'm not trying to get an employee of the month. I ain't trying to grow. Now I'm literally like doing just enough where they won't fire me, and like all my time goes to comedy. So the full time job is just there for Indeed purposes.
That's how it be, man. Because I be like sneaking and like making skits and doing jokes
I ain't even
while on
sneaking.
break on the clock.
I be on the clock doing it. Like if there's something funny coming up, I'm making a joke or I'm doing something like nah. Cause just as quick as they damn can fire me, I can quit. Nah, I ain't.
Yeah,
I learned long ago, man. I ain't giving no job unless it's my business. I ain't giving no job that much energy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I definitely agree. Was one thing that I was going to say was that like working that 9 to 5 and trying to find that time. Sometimes you don't find that time. Sometimes you got to make time.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
a lot of people tell me all the time. Like one of my mentors, he was like, "You can get your job 8 hours. The least you can do is come on and get your dream too."
yeah,
So I
yeah.
try to keep that in mind every time I'm doing something where I get burnt out from my job or don't want to do nothing. I'm like, man, I done gave the white man 8 hours. So I can at least work on my dream for two.
Right, right. And not only are you making jokes, man, you actually the creator of cultural connections. What is
Yeah.
that? Describe that to me, man.
So it's like a card game, right? Well, it started off as a card game between it's a mix between Black Card Revolt and Cards Against Humanity. So it's basically all because I do a joke of the day. So all my joke of the days, I created them, I got them copyrighted, and then I just made it into a card game, and been getting some good feedback, man. I've been selling, all throughout the United States, even some overseas to some my military homeboys. But it's just more so a drinking game, just to camaraderie. Ain't no rules, kind of like Uno. Play how you want to play, and then just have fun with it.
So it seemed like you took your gift of like writing and humor and actually found another way to curate some funds out of that. Like, how did you come up with that idea?
I got bored during the pandemic, and then I was like, I love comedy. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want to be in the clubs 24/7. Like I love being home. So if I can find something where I'm writing, creating a product where it can work for me, and I'm not out in the clubs every night trying to grind, that was really the motivation behind it.
So are there like other certain like are there like certain categories for jokes, or is you just like just a random joke that you just came up with for that day?
So no, it's just different categories. So it's like pop culture, sports, entertainment, music. So pretty much whatever, anything on TV or music or radio, I just turned and made it into a joke. So,
So how in the world, like, so okay, so you did that. So then,
yeah.
like, how did you like? All right, I got the jokes. So how do we turn this into like an actual game and the rules and stuff, and get it on like the card and stuff? Like, how did you get to that point?
Yeah, so I had a one of my partners. Well, he don't really do business with me anymore, but because I wanted to value the friendship, so we're best friends. But he gave me some ideas like, hey, write this down, create a card, and we just really just brainstorming back and forth, and we just just created it that way. It wasn't really no formula to it. It's just more so just spitballing. And he was like, you should do a card game. I was like, oh shit, because we played Cards Against Humanity one night, and he was like, this sounds like something you would say. And then I just took all my jokes. I took 100 of my best jokes and I wrote them down. And then I had a friend of mine who's an author. He looked them over, made sure punctuation was right on it. And then I just found a website to create my cards and I put it in production. Did a little research and I just put it out there.
And like, how successful has that been? Like, we don't got to know how much you made, but like,
Oh no, nah,
is
you
it
good,
like
you good.
a nice little check?
Yeah, decent. Yeah, it's decent, man. It's paid a few bills, I can tell you that. And then I branched out into making T-shirts because I know everybody's not gonna buy a card game. And
Right.
then one of my good friends, he owns a watch company, and he told me just make sure you creating a product where people would need it, right? And I mean, everybody doesn't need a card game, but you can always spend $15 on a T-shirt, or everybody needs a coffee mug. I'm big on hats, so I created hats. Just something to keep the brand going. You know.
No, that's really dope and smart at the same time to find other avenues of income,
For
while
sure.
working your gift, while you might not be at the level that you. That's why always tell people like always try to like branch out and use find like other things that can get you to like where you need to get to. Now, are
Yeah.
you selling these like after shows for merchandise?
Yeah. I put them on. I sell merch after the show. I got a. You can look at it on Instagram. Reach out to me and place the order. So yeah, I'm selling it really anywhere. I used to have a website, but I until it gets bigger, then I'll because websites cost money to operate.
Yeah.
So I'll say I'll have my website back up once I kind of get to my sales goal of where I want to where it can kind of fund itself.
So then, is it going to be like a second version, or is this just a one and
Yeah.
only?
So now I got a second version I'm actually working on now. And it's gonna have other jokes into it. It'll still be like more like pop culture and stuff, but it'll lean heavily towards, the Caucasian side. A lot of these jokes now are based on like black culture. So I'll do
Mhm.
a Caucasian version to kind of get that out there. So that's why I really don't like putting my face on my card. People say brand your stuff. I don't want my face to be on it because certain people won't buy certain stuff if they see the owner. So
So you know a lot about white culture to make a, a card.
yeah, man. What's wild? So people may not think it. I'm real big into like indie pop, British pop. Florence and the Machine is one of my favorite artists, along with Young Jeezy. So it's kind of like
Mm,
I'm like different ends of the spectrum, and
yeah.
I'm a real big reader. So I'm always reading, just getting as much information as possible. And then I went to a predominantly white high school, so 65% of my friends were white in high school. Even I went to HBCU. So I try to learn as much as I can about all cultures. That way you can, speak confidently to other people and carry conversations. Because my thing is, if I only know black culture or that's really my forte, I can't really go get no money from the white people because I don't really know what they're talking about. So I want to make
Yeah.
sure I know what everybody's talking about because at the end of the day, green's the only color I really care about. So I want to get it from everybody as much as possible.
Right. Right. No, I grew up watching MTV and listening
Yeah.
to Britney Spears and
Yeah,
Backstreet Boys.
exactly. So and it's okay. Like a lot of people black people kind of shy away from it, but like nah. My favorite sitcom is King of Queens. Like I love Martin, I love Wayne's Brothers, but King of Queens is my favorite sitcom. I love late night television. I love the monologue. Like that's one of the reasons I started writing jokes because I just love how that's orchestrated.
Yeah, man. I can get down with Third Rock from the Sun or Frasier.
Yeah.
and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, man.
But I still got cousins that sell crack. So it's like I still know I know both ends of the spectrum. I can go speak to both different crowds.
No, that's hilarious, man. That's hilarious. That's dope. So like so like what exactly is going to be on the card? Like, so when you say like a joke,
Yeah.
give me an example of a joke so somebody can like they know what they're getting themselves into when they read the card. Because when I think of it, I'm thinking more like of a phrase, like a sentence from Martin or something like that.
What does GTD stand for? Something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So like you watch The Office, right?
yeah.
Okay, so everybody that watched The Office always know how much Michael Scott paid for his plasma TV,
Hmm.
right? We know $2,000, two thousand
Yeah.
dollars. So we'll make sure that'd be one of the jokes on there. Like, hey, how much did Michael Scott pay for his plasma TV? Or who did Michael Scott hit with his car and gave her a full body cast? Just random trivia, but make it in a funny way. So I'm still developing a joke behind it.
Okay.
And a little bit behind the creative process with these jokes, man, took 6 months
Mm.
to write it and make it funny to where I would be comfortable putting it out. So I'm just not really putting out a BS product.
And how did you know that it was funny? Like, did you run it by the wife, a couple of family members? Like, did you test
Yeah,
it out through a survey?
yeah. I did a test market for let me see. I started January of I'll take that back. I started June of 2020, and I did market research. So I sent it to people in DC, I sent it to people in Atlanta, I sent it to people in Miami because I got friends in those places. So I let them test the card games out. You know, tell me if it's funny, be transparent as possible, and let me know because this is a work in progress. So I did that for like 6 months to a year, and I finally launched it. Yeah, because I launched it January of this year. So like a year of just research and just getting out as many cards as you lose money in that process, but you still want to learn and know if it's funny or not. So that's how I found out. So people say, I didn't like this, Chris, or that's hilarious, keep that. And so,
While at the same time still doing comedy, stand-up
oh,
comedy.
100%, 100%, yeah, that's my baby. So I'm not gonna stop doing stand up. I just want to make sure that I'm not busting my ass so much to make the money behind it.
And did you try any of the jokes out that you made on the car at the club?
No,
Oh, okay.
that's one thing I try not to do is do my joke of the days on stage. I want to have as much material as possible. One of my comedic idols is Dion Cole and Roy Wood Jr. They're brilliant writers, and you'll never hear them say kind of the same thing twice, or they'll never post a joke and they do it on stage. I make sure my brain is always constantly moving, so I won't get comfortable telling the same 20 minutes of jokes for 4 years. I've
Man,
seen comics do that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No, Dion Cole is one of my favorite too. I'm gonna tell you something right now. I know your wife sleeps peacefully at night. You are the money making man. God
I
damn.
try. I try, brother. Now, look, it's a constant battle, man. But you gotta keep moving. Got to stay hustling. Is what I like to
Yeah,
do.
yeah, man. I like the fact that you took a bet on yourself and you did something different. And yeah, that's what's up, man. There was a hole in the market and you saw it. Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, yeah, for
Do
sure.
you
I
ever use
appreciate
the
it.
code guard, the card game during like holiday season like with your own family?
Yeah, so actually that's one of the test markets. So I used it here. One of my family, a few of my family members, they liked it. Some of my aunts didn't really care for it, but you know how old black women are. They don't care. If it ain't Tyler Perry, they ain't laughing. So it is what it is. But now I tested out last Christmas with them, and then this Christmas I'm gonna try to do it again, but it's still selling. So
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. No, man, that's really really dope. That's really really dope. I didn't know that at all. I didn't tell that. That's what's up. So
yeah,
now,
it's an ugly process to get to the finish line, and I'm still
yeah,
not 100% where I want to be because you always making changes of how the card looks and
yeah,
you
yeah,
know. Yeah,
yeah. So now, okay, let's. I did just bring up your wife, so let's talk about that a little bit.
yeah.
So she like was she just like always telling you like, man, you're so funny, like, or was she just like, oh my gosh, like you're hilarious, like you need to get on the stage, and like how many times did she have to tell you before you like actually got on the stage?
So she told me a couple weeks. It wasn't long because people at my job was telling me, and she still don't think I'm that funny. Like as far as and it pisses me off because we'll go to a comedy club or she'll come to one of my shows and I see her laughing at somebody else. I'm like, I said something way funnier than that, but it's always subjective. But
Yeah,
she kind of pushed me to it and said, "Hey, Chris, you at least try it out." And then The first show I did, she was there. I crushed it. Well, in my mind, I did. It was like 3 minutes. And then the second show, I did well, but I got greedy. And so somebody was like, "Hey, Chris, can you come do the show and come feature for me?" I'm like, "Yeah." Mind you, third show in now, right?
Yeah.
Come feature. And I was like, "How long is it?" And it was like 20 minutes. I'm like, "Oh, that's nothing. You comfortable, you cocky. I've only been doing comedy for two shows, 5 minutes each, right?" And so I get up there and I bomb. I'm talking about it was horrible. I'm up there doing knock jokes. I'm pop locking. Like, bro, it was a fucking train wreck. And it was in High Point, North Carolina. I never forget. And then I think I cussed her out the whole way home. We fought. And we didn't like physically fight. We argued the whole drive back from High Point to Greensboro where we were staying at the time. But I was like, why the fuck you make me do this show? Like I'm embarrassing myself because I had all my friends come out. Like I was selling tickets. Like
Yeah.
I was feeling myself, and it was ugly. Like I didn't even tell them thank you. I left out the back door like to get in the car. I just said meet me around back. It was horrible. It was
Was
horrible.
that is that your worst bombing story?
Nah, I got another one.
Okay.
It's and it's always High Point, North Carolina, right? I don't know what it is about High Point, and I've been all over the United States, but something about High Point, North Carolina, I cannot conquer. So the Omegas they had a Christmas party. Let me see, right before COVID hit, so 2019, right before COVID hit, and I said, okay, cool. They like, can you come do the show? I'm like, yeah, not a problem. I've been doing comedy for a while now, and once again, biting off more time than I can chew. It's like, can you do 45 minutes? And at the time, I had a strong 20, 25. I'm like, man, I can stretch it. That's not a problem. So I did. I go on stage. Like right before I go on stage, the host was like, oh yeah, we got some older people here. No cussing. I'm like, shit. All right. So at the time, I only had 15 minutes clean, like 15 flat. And they
Yeah.
want me to do 45 clean. And I get on stage and I do my first joke. They didn't laugh. And he's like, you can hear them. You can feel. You do comments. You can hear the boos coming.
Yeah.
Like it's just the aura in the room. It just got real quiet. And it's like, boo. I'm talking. These are like judges. Like these are like high profile people in the room, and they booing. And I'm like, man, this is a bad night. But yeah, that was my worst show because I got booed. I only been booed that one time, and it was for black people. You know how black people is. Hard to
Yeah.
make them laugh. You got to be able to entertain them, boy.
Nah, man. I ain't never got booed.
But
Yeah.
I'm glad I got booed then than to go do a show and it's you know 10,000 people in there and they boo.
Yeah.
That's worse. I'd rather have 65 people boo me than damn 12,000. I'll take that.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. So how did we get from getting booed on stage to now we headlining all across
Hard
the Atlantic coast?
hard work, man. Just really putting in that grind and just knowing knowing your worth, right? Knowing not to take every show because people come to you all the time. Hey, Chris, come do this show, come do that show. And to me, it's like, yes, practice, but after a while, if you do the same certain type of show and not knocking, people who do like, like little bar shows or whatever, because you do need that practice, it diminishes your brand. And so I feel like, all right, I'm gonna do these good shows, get some good pictures, put some good material out there, and just be prepared. And then the calls came in, and word of mouth. Like I did a show with Gary Owen. He loved it. His opener, they loved it, and they just having the opportunities and just being ready when those opportunities come. That's kind of helped me build my brand up a little bit.
How important is it to, to network? Because, you do want to go up there, you want to do good, but you also want to go up there and have fun. And then when you do good and get that word of mouth, like how important is it to keep those connections or to make those connections so you could get those opportunities?
Yeah, well, so you know what comedy is? Comedy is like high school. Like no matter the comedy scene, it's gonna be like high school, and it's a fine line between, to me, between networking and ass kissing. Like I make sure I draw that line because when you start being around some of these people who's been in it for a while, they don't like their ego struck. That's more so like people who just starting out, wanting to feel good. But like networking, just being you, because when you go on stage, people know if that's you or not. And that was one of my first mistakes when I first started out. I was telling jokes that I thought the crowd would like, and I'm up there, talking about I forget what I was talking about, but just trying to be as relatable as possible. not telling what I thought was funny. And now that I'm telling jokes I think it's funny, I'm starting to make more connections. People see that you're genuine, and then the show just come from there.
So would you say that you found your voice now?
Yeah, I'm still in the process of finding it, but I'm getting closer. Right. So I'm a lot of people know me as the writer. A lot of people know me. I'm not so I'm not rude, but I'm not a ass kiss. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a big ass kisser. Like I'm gonna come in. My whole phrase is show up, make them laugh, go to the house. Like I'm here to
Yeah,
do my job. Right? We're here to laugh. We're here to go home. I mean, laugh, have a good time, and go home. I'm not gonna be there. Oh man, that's like me getting on your show and saying, "Oh, Ty, man, you this, you that." You're just stroking your ego,
yeah,
but it's like, nah, we'll be genuine with each other. Like, hey, you got good content. You want me on your show, and we do it that way. But I'm not one to stroke people's egos, and I think that kind of rubs some of the newer comics the wrong way. But a lot of the older comics who's on tour and been on TV and stuff, they respect that. They know I'm gonna be about business at the end of the day.
yeah. Because I think people do fail to realize that at the end of the day, it is a business and it's cool
For
to
sure.
chit chat and all that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, we don't want that to be a distraction from what we here to do and things like that. No, I
Yeah, and a lot of times I ain't cut you off. A lot of times I found out too when you are in the mix and all that, and everybody loves you, the go-to person. You're getting a lot of drama that way. A lot of like people try to tell your name up bad that way. I don't know why, but I try to stay away from that.
no. I don't. If it's one thing I don't like is drama, and that's something I've been experiencing here lately. Not with my name or anything like that, but I've
Yeah,
noticed like how certain comics will be just involved in drama all the time, and I just be
yeah,
so confused. I'm like, man, we here to make people laugh. Like,
that's
is
it.
that what we here to do? To fight and make jokes about people? Like,
Yeah, this ain't high school. Like, nah,
yeah,
like, because at the end of the day, it's like, all right, I ain't gonna go back and forth on. I'll see you in the street. I'm not gonna go back and forth on the internet with you. Like, because I'm not gonna disrespect nobody's comedy club. Because like, I done been to a few shows. There's people on the show where it's like, I don't like them, they don't like me. It's a mutual understanding. But the crowd don't know that. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? The crowd, oh, they had an awesome show. But I could have slapped this motherfucker if I wanted to, but I didn't. So
I like the
that's just the way
fact
the
that
cookie
you
crumbles.
brought up the crowd because I always say like whether it's an open mic or a show, like they paid or they're
Yeah.
giving their time to come see me. So I'm gonna make sure I don't waste it.
Absolutely, because and one thing I don't like is when a comic goes and their whole act is just picking on people. I know DL does it, but he's great at it and people know
Mhm.
him. But like a new comic who's been doing it 1 or 2 years, maybe three, and their whole MO is I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna fuck with the crowd. Like you don't know who that person knows. Like I did a show and I didn't know it was like this entire team from the local news channel they was there. And like, what if I would have offended them? They know people, word gets out. You don't know who knows who. So just do your jokes and just get off the stage. They don't want to hear all that shit. White man or whatever. The white man say, "Oh, you got a little dick, Mister White Man." But it's like this man then paid money for a babysitter. He done bought tickets to this show. His old lady done picked out an outfit. He got off work early, and now you're gonna insult him or whoever else is in the crowd. They'll never come back, and they'll never do
Yeah,
business with you, and they'll tell everybody else I do business with you.
yeah. I usually, if I do crowd work, I talk about somebody. I may say they look like somebody, but
Yeah, yeah.
I definitely got to feel the vibe out first. I'm not just about to be like going at them like that. But I just like to do it because sometimes I found that that's like a cheat code to like get their attention.
100%. My closing joke is crowd, like is part of crowd work. I get the crowd interacting, but it's an offensive joke. But I offend everybody, white,
Yeah,
black, Asian, Chinese. Everybody's getting offended. But
yeah,
they know I'm not picking at them. It's true. Like what the joke I tell is true,
yeah,
but it's not more so pointing somebody out and alienating them. They
yeah.
don't want to hear all that shit.
Yeah. So now that we are year 6 and
Yeah.
we've done some other things, I consider you a writer. Is there other writing things that you would like to venture into, like maybe like a show or something like that?
I want so two of my goals, man. My first goal is I want to write for a late night TV show. Like I know they don't
Mhm.
make a lot of money, but that's my foot in the door. That's always been a dream of mine. Because back in the day when I was a kid, cable get cut off. You ain't got nothing but like 5 or 6 channels. Every night laying in bed after the news, you got late night TV show.
Who was your favorite one? Mine was Jay Leno.
Jay Leno and then Conan. So they were back to back.
Yeah.
And then I would watch Jay Leno because ain't nothing else on, and I'm like, oh, the monologue is super funny. What happened? Who does that? I'm thinking Jay write that every night, not knowing. But I researched. I'm like, oh, he has staff writers. I would love to do that just because it keeps your mind sharp. Different, headlines every night. Writing that, that's the ultimate dream of mine. And they only get paid like 65 grand, but it's a way to get your foot in the door.
Yeah.
And then ultimately, I want to be a lead writer on a sitcom, and that'll
Mm.
be and I'll be cool with that, man, because I don't like being in the public eye, but I would
Mhm.
rather be behind the scenes. Like I want to be the nigga in the restaurant with the black card. Like I'm eating, nobody's bothering me. They don't know who I am, but like all the celebrities come up and say, "Oh, shake my hand." They know me, but the
Yeah.
crowd, the regular customers, the patrons, not bothering me. Like I don't like that. So
Yeah,
that's my ultimate goal.
that's what I want to do too, man. I would love to write for like a sitcom
Yeah,
or and then I never really thought about what you said like a late night TV show writer, but I definitely want to there's another type of writing that I wanted to do. It was definitely a TV show. And then it was something else, but I'm high right now, so I forgot. So I'm like,
I'm gonna smoke after the show. I try not to smoke or drink if I do anything comedy related, so I can be sharp.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But nah, I thought about it. I was like, oh, I can hit the blunt before. But like, nah, let me. I want to respect the man podcast, so let me make sure that
Oh no,
I'm
man,
sharp.
you're
Yeah,
totally fine, brother.
yeah.
It wouldn't have bothered me at all. The one guest I had before you, he was smoking while on the show, so no, you're totally fine at all. But no,
Yeah.
so like if you have a sitcom and you wanted to come up with your own sitcom, like what sitcom would you like push out? Like what show would you create?
Man, so it's funny. I actually have a script now. I wrote like 6 episodes. I try to shop it. Nobody heard. But and I'll tell you because it's copyrighted. But I want to have a show about a car lot, but I want it to be random as possible, and I want it to be from the viewpoint of like the owner, and his dad. So the premise is the owner is just some clueless ass dude. His dad left him the car dealership, and it's just a bunch of randomness. So think of the office, but the setting of a car lot. But
Mm,
that's what I want, and it's actually called the lot, and I want to have it
mm.
where it's just as random as possible. So,
Bro, that's a really good idea. I think sometimes we overthink things, and that's very simple. Very
yeah.
would it be like hoopties on there and stuff like that? And a
So
lot.
so it's a used car lot, and
Mhm.
it's actually I do want to have I haven't put that in there, but that's a good idea. But I haven't thought about like taking a perspective for like raggedy cars, but
Mhm.
yeah, that's a good idea. I didn't think about that. Damn. All
Because
right.
that'd be more relatable because everybody, well, not everybody, but somebody, more than likely had a raggedy car before.
Yeah, that was shit. My first car was an '82 Buick. So I know
Yeah,
exactly
like
what you're talking about.
when I listen, when I have car issues, first person I call is my mom. Like I'm calling my
Yeah.
mom, like, "Hey, what's going on?" Because I don't know. Like my mom know everything. She could hear a car and be like, "Oh, they need a new radiator." You know what I'm saying?
Damn. Mama got some skills.
Mom, man, listen, she done had about 7 hoopties herself. Like that's
So she know how
like
to work on the car.
she know 'em, man. She know 'em. Yeah, man. That's what's up. Yeah, writing for TV shows. All right, now late night too as well. All right, cool. Yeah, man. I can really see you doing that. I can really
Yeah,
see
man.
you doing that
It's
for
just
sure.
it's such a laid back profession, and it keeps your mind sharp. Because people, if they get idle and stagnant, man, their mind goes. So I want to make sure that my mind is as sharp as possible all the time.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. I have an idea. So one that I have as a sitcom is a basic show. Basically like a pastor and his family in a black church. But we all know at
Okay,
the black church how freaking hilarious it is. And
absolutely.
just really just like show the ins and outs of that and kind of explain like the ins of out of church too, have like a message behind or whatever. But like the
Right.
goal is just for it to be like freaking hilarious. Like that's the only one that I have.
Man, it's so many different angles you can take. Each member of the church can have their whole season just based on them. You can focus on the keyboard player, the choir director. Man,
Yeah.
that's gold there. That is gold right there.
Yeah, because a lot of Americans like we talk about God so much, but then when you watch TV, there's really no TV shows that reflect
That's really not.
what we care about. Like the only one I kind of remember is Greenleaf and Seventh Heaven. Like that's it.
Yeah, or Amen, but that's about it. With
Yeah,
Sherman
yeah,
Hemsworth, yeah, but nobody really tapped into the modern day black church because it's a big business from a
Yeah.
comedic standpoint. Yeah, for sure.
Soul Man. Now Cedric the Entertainer with Soul Man. That was a good show. Did you ever
Oh, I
watch it?
forgot him and Niecy Nash, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, but I mean, man, you got to think about shows they didn't deal with the same. Think about Martin and Jamie Foxx, were basically the same show. They had the same jokes. So
The
nah, I say,
same and they had some of the same actors, like the
yep,
very same thing. Like,
yep.
yeah,
So
man. I be studying like sitcom shows. Like I'm on Martin now, but I did finish Living Single.
yeah, man, it's funny. I worked with John Hinton, Overton for Living Single. We
Mhm.
worked together a few times, man. He's a solid dude. Yeah, Living Single's a good show. It's one of my favorites. Um, and then if you watching Martin Bentley Kyle Evans, the dude who like wrote and stuff, I love his journey. Like that dude is worth so much money, and
Mhm.
nobody knows who he is.
Dang, dang. I didn't know that Guy Tori used to write on there too. I
Yep, the
found that
show
out,
about
yeah.
the what's the show? They didn't know damn puppy. He wrote that show. He wrote
Yeah.
that episode. Yeah,
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yes, 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 yes. Because when I found out and I went back and I looked, I be trying to like look up who wrote what
same here.
and like look at their scripts and stuff. Yeah, yeah. All right. So now we were writing scripts. All right, now we wrote our way to a comedy album. It's called Wow, This Tea is Sweet, and it's
Yes.
available on Amazon, Spotify, and iTunes. Like, how did you get to that point right there?
Man, I just every year I try to put out some type of big project, right? So I did the first year was a comedy album. This year was the card game. So I was just bored and I was like, oh, I got this good audio from the comedy club. They said I can use it. Nobody else in the comedy scene has done a comedy album. Let me do it. And so I put it out, and then I had like 5 or 6 other comics reach out to me. Hey man, how did you do this? And I'm like, I gave them the tools to do it, but I wasn't really looking to make money off of it. It was just something to archive my jokes because once I have it out there, I know I can't use those jokes no more. You know how people do Netflix specials or something like that. So I just wanted to
Mhm.
make sure that I'm keeping myself honest, and then just basically put the material out there, so I ain't gotta use it no more. You know, like when you look at post and delete, more or less, just get it out my system, so I can make way for new material.
And did you? If I'm not mistaken, this came out during the pandemic, correct?
Yeah, during the pandemic. So it was I got lucky because the audio is right before we went on government lockdown, right before the shutdown. So I did that show February of 2020, and then March there was like, all right, y'all, everything is shut down, and we were shut down, couldn't do shit for like a year.
Right.
I'm like, damn, people gonna forget about my comedy because I still didn't have the following that I have now. I was like, I gotta put something out. That way, it's in writing or an archive, whatever. So I just put it out. I was able to buddy of mine, he does he's a producer. So I sent them the audio files and he mixed and mastered it and helped me put the album out.
So now from the album, is that how we got the file? I mean, obviously beforehand, but like, is that how the bulk of like our the work came from that album, like the following that you have now?
Nah, man, truth be told, my biggest following comes from me commenting on Shade Room. Shade Room, Baller Alert, Spiritual World. Like, I got an alert. So as soon as they post something, I try to be the one of the first, 20 people to comment so they can see it. And then a lot of times I get my comments pinned, or people just, they'll go through and they'll see my comment, they'll laugh, and then they'll go to my page, and I got nothing but joke of the days. So for the past,
Mm.
100 whatever days, I just got archived material. I'm just putting it out there, and people just see my joke of the days.
And how on average? Because I never would have thought about that. I mean, I think like I troll, like because I think it's just funny,
Yeah.
but like, and how many like followers are we getting from that?
So I started the year. Last time I checked, I think I checked this morning. I got like 2,200 and like I almost got like 2,300 followers. I started this year with 1,400 followers. So
Mm.
from January into now, I mean, what was that? What would that be? Like 800 some odd followers just by comment and stuff. You'll get the occasional follower from they see you at a show, whatever the case may be. But it's more so people just seeing my content and just following me that way.
Yeah, I never would have thought to like comment and get followers that way. That's such an easy way to
Yeah,
like
100%.
get your name out there.
Yeah, and then just have the material where they'll click on your page, and they'll like and they'll see shit like they'll see my joke of the days. But what pisses me off is you got people, and it's not coming from a hating place, but you got like people like Justin LeBoy, you know, that respectfully whatever. He don't do shit but steal people memes all day and repost it. And I'm like, how the fuck is this dude killing it? I'm like, he's literally stealing people memes and just reposting it. So I'm like, damn. And I'll come up with this original content, but you know,
Yeah.
it's part of the game. But
Yeah.
I try to make sure I have as much material, as much content as possible. So because I don't do videos, I
Mm.
try with the whole TikTok thing, but I just can't do it.
Yeah.
A good friend of mine, he's like one of my best friends in comedy, Christian Johnson, and Ryan Davis, man, those dudes do videos like how I try to put out 2 and 3 joke of the days a day. Man, this dude's putting out 3 or 4 videos, and over the past, I talked to him yesterday. Over the past 3 months, this cat has got almost 100,000 new followers
Yeah.
just from video. Yeah, so it's
I'm
if you play the game right, man, you can get them.
I'm trying to learn it, man. It's weird because I just don't like. I was on social media. Oh, we lost them. It's okay. We're gonna wait for them to come back. Um, but yeah, man, like I was saying, like when you do the social media thing and you try to get followers back and everything like that, well, not get followers back, but gain followers, man, it's just hard. It's hard to do it. Hard to learn the algorithm. Did I say that right? Yeah, the algorithm. Because everything is just so different now. Like TikTok is different, Twitter is different, IG is different. All of it is different. And when it's different like that, you just gotta learn. There we go.
Yeah, sorry about that, brother.
No, 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 you fine, you fine, you fine. I was just saying, like all the social media platforms, they're very all the algorithms is different. So that's one of the things that I've been learning
And,
when I've
and
been
and
like,
that's what started to piss me off too, man. Because you know how you used to have the same, you know for sure this one person gonna like your stuff, they'll share it, and then they stop. Like, damn, they stop following me, and they just don't see your content no more. I hate
yeah,
that about social media.
yeah, yeah. The out when they changed it, yeah, it's very like I've been doing the videos and stuff, and I can't really tell if it's working now, but I'm just trying to get in the habit. Usually I just like post just like crowd work, and
Yeah,
then if I feel like I have a good video and the joke is solid enough, then I'll post it. I'm not really too big on not posting jokes because I feel like it'll grow eventually. So,
100%.
and if this is where it's just at, then that's just where it's at. But yeah, that's what I've been like focusing on with my content.
Yeah, and that's smart too, man. Because like I want to do more videos, but I just don't have that comfort level. And
Yeah,
then like you said, I don't really post a lot of my own stage jokes because people they'll take them, you know.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
try to be mindful of that. And then when I do my joke of the days, it's a screenshot, but I use Twitter for that. And I don't have a big following on Twitter, but I use a screenshot because it has the date and the time. And
yeah,
I had somebody pull up on me, was like, man, I said that joke before. I'm like, nah, nigga, let's go back. And I was like,
yeah.
this shit say I've been, I wrote this joke in 2018. You just
Right,
did it
right.
this year. So it's like, you want to go that route, you taking from me. So
Yeah.
yeah, I try to make sure I date everything.
So now that we did the comedy album,
Yeah.
is a comedy special next?
If I kind of want to do one, but I feel like that's so much pressure, right? So it's like, like that's pressure, man, to put out an hour, and it's like, all right, I feel comfortable with this. I don't know. I kind of want to, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to open myself up for that much criticism. Cause I
What
just
if
feel like,
what if what if not an hour? What if just like 20 to 30? What about that?
yeah, that might not be a bad idea, so I can get the visual out there, especially if I'm trying to grow the brand. That's not a bad idea. If I can get some good quality video or get somebody to shoot it for me, it's
Yeah.
definitely, it's not off the table. Like I wouldn't be opposed to it. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
opposed to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Cuz I think I'll speak for me. Like when I first came in, it was just like I got to do everything traditional. But then I
Yeah,
guess since COVID, it kind of knocked everything off. So like, people doing shows in apartments and on rooftops and stuff like that. And now it's kind of like when you see people on Netflix only doing 30 minutes or whatever, and you see like with Kev on stage, him giving certain comics like 20 minutes, and it's all a showcase type form. It's kind of like just do your own thing, especially like when you're not getting paid by nobody, you all doing it all yourself. It's like you can do basically whatever you want to do.
Oh, for sure, and put it out there. And hell, these production companies, they want it, they'll come get it, they'll find
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Or, you the money man, you can start your own production company. I'm pretty sure you probably got one
That
in there somewhere.
man, that's been me and my wife was talking about that because she has a catering company, so we was talking about doing everything under one umbrella with like Cultural Connections and Chris Monds Comedy. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I wouldn't. It would be a good idea because you own everything.
Yeah.
Whatever you put out, you own it. So that's probably in the future too.
Yeah.
Definitely, 5 to 10 years down the line for sure.
Yeah. No, okay. No, we got only a few more questions, but
Oh, you good? You good?
what is like one of what is your like dream stage? Like when you hit this stage, this theater, this stadium, whatever, this arena that that like, okay, I've made it. Like this is my moment.
I I don't know. I don't really have like I like theaters, right? I love doing theaters. It's intimate. It's a nice setting. I don't want to do stadiums just because the acoustics and how hard you got to work for it. But my dream theater it's a theater back home in my hometown, and it's called like the Mary Stewart Theater, and they hold about 2,500 people. And I always wanted to sell, do a show there and sell that out, and then film behind the scenes. Like if I was to do a Netflix special, I would shoot it there.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Chris, what's your who's on your comedy Mount Rushmore?
Like, are we doing an order, or are we like just anybody else?
Anything, do it,
Okay.
do it your own way. Do it your own way.
All right. So Robin Harris, um, Dion Cole, Bill Burr, and Earthquake.
Okay. All right. That's a nice solid list right there, man.
Yeah,
It's a
those
nice
those
solid
are
list.
like I can watch them like all day. Just
Yeah.
the interviews, like any interaction with them on social media, I try to watch it just so I can kind of see what to do and what not to do.
Man, I actually seen Dion Cole's one of my faves. I love his writing.
Yes.
And I actually seen him in Chicago. I was like, let's go to a comedy club. Let's go to a comedy show. And I seen that he was there. I was like, oh snap.
Oh man, hell
And
yeah.
and so we got in there. I don't know, it was probably like a Thursday, maybe or something like that. And wasn't nobody in there. We was only like the first 2 or 3 rows were taken up. It was only like 20
Really?
people in there. And he was like basically practicing before his first Netflix special. And he would like have his phone on and ask us, like, is this joke okay? Like, should I twist it up and stuff like that? So
Yeah.
I was like, dang, like this is a master class of like comedy right here.
Yeah.
Like that's the only
He's
story I
that
got.
way.
Like, but like that dude, yeah, that dude's the truth, man.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. This I DM him like I do. I do my jokes, right? I DM all my jokes. He look at them. And it says seen. He haven't blocked me. I know people that know him, and he hasn't blocked me. So it's kind of like, all right. One day he's like, all right, man, come on, like, come write for me or come perform with me, because I'm consistently sending him material every day, and he hasn't used any of it. I mean, I'm not saying I doubt he ever will, because it's not as good as his stuff. But I just try to show him, look, man, I'm writing too. Hopefully, one day he'll bring me on. But yeah, that's one thing I do, and I'll tell this in all my interviews, man. I DM him all the time, all the time, and he
Hey
looks at
man, that's what's up, man.
it. Ain't no
do you
shame in
dou-
my game.
do you double check before you go to sleep and be like, did you look at it yet?
I I do. Like, all right, did you look at it yet? And I'm like, all right, and I'm just waiting on getting the notification that he tagged me in the post. Like, hey man, this joke's from Chris Monds, super funny. But maybe one day it'll come. If it doesn't, the hell. And that's the thing I get with comedy, man. Like, even if I don't get to the height that I want to get, I tried it. And so
Yeah,
many people from my high school or my middle school, they be like, man, I commend you for going after your dream. Because it's like, a lot of people want to do this shit. Because
yeah,
you got to be strong minded and be able to take some punishment to do
yeah.
comedy. Yeah. Or
Yeah,
public speaking for that matter.
that is true, man. And it's also dope that your kids get to see, you do that to our generation. For our parents, they just kind of just work 9 to 5 and settle
Yep.
for it. And
Yep.
us, we kind of like taking matters into our own hands, doing what we want to do. I commend you for that for sure.
I
And
appreciate that, man. My
for
kids don't think I'm funny. They don't think I'm funny.
the
But it's funny because my daughter one day, she was like, I was talking to my friends and they Googled you. They found you on Google. I'm like, oh shit, what they find? Like, we seen some of your clips. I was like, cause she's 9. I'm like, you don't need to be watching that. So I had to
Right,
put filters. Yeah,
right.
like y'all don't need to be watching that stuff.
That's funny. Hey, Chris, man, what advice or type of motivation would you give to any comedian that's listening to this right now, or just like starting out in the game? What advice would you give them?
Stay out of your head. You're gonna be your biggest enemy. Um, be careful who you attach yourself to with comedy because your name goes further than you will ever go. And be consistent. Like no matter if 2 people like your joke, because when I did my joke of the days, ain't nobody like it but my mama. She was the only one liking it on social media, like the only one. But I like, man, I kept pushing, I kept putting it out there. So put your content out there, man. Somebody gonna see it, and just
Yeah,
stay consistent.
yeah.
And don't worry about the likes. The likes will come, but put your work out there.
And then, Chris, man, tell people why they should listen to comedians in bed.
Because honestly, man, I've never felt so relaxed. It really feels like me you just shooting the shit. It really don't feel like a an interview per se. It just feels comfortable. So I would definitely I'll plug it on all my social media, man. Like comedians in bed. I I, I love it, man. I appreciate you having me on, man. But people definitely should check you out for sure.
I appreciate you saying that, man. I really do, man. That's what we strive here to do, man. Is like
How long
comedians.
you been How long you been doing it?
Man, I just started, man. I've been doing a
Dope.
podcast before this, like during the pandemic for 2 years, but it just wasn't working. So I was
Yeah,
like, man, let's just do. I was thinking about doing something different. Like me and my girl, we about to do a podcast too, and I was like, man, I should just do something with the comedians because, like, on my last podcast, when I had comedians on, those episodes did the best. So I was
yeah,
like, let's just do it, man. It's just another way to connect, network, and also just to get to know like other comedians and like how they operate, and then like their comedy scene too. I think sometimes we might kind of think like all comedy scenes is the same, but like getting to know other comics from different parts of the US is just like, dang, it's a really a lot of good people out here that are doing their thing.
for sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. And then where could people find you at, Chris?
So I post everything on my social media, Chris Monds Comedy, and then my card game Culture Connections on Instagram, Facebook. Yeah, I think Instagram and Facebook are my main things. I can't do the TikTok. I don't got it in me. But Instagram, Facebook, Chris Monds Comedy. I'll follow you guys. You follow me, I follow you back. Until I get to a certain level, and it's like, all right, I'm too famous now, so I gotta keep that ratio right. but but nah, just make sure you follow me, and I'll definitely follow you guys back.
Oh man, listen, man, Chris, we're so excited that we had you here on Comedians
Most
in
definitely.
Bed. Thank you. Tell your wife thank you too, because she lent you us for an hour. So I greatly appreciate that.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Thank you, man. I appreciate you for sure.
Oh man, no problem, man. Anytime. Once again, man, we have the talented Chris Monds. Everybody's give a round of applause for Chris Monds. Be sure to give him a follow, man, before he go ahead and blow
Yes.
up. Not too famous though. Not too
Yeah,
famous.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.